Hi, I'm Pam Mikowski, an Ohio lawyer, and I want to give you some information on the first steps you need to take when you've decided that you want a divorce. Just a disclaimer here, I am an Ohio lawyer, and I'm only providing you with legal information, not legal advice. Obviously, I don't know the specific facts of your situation. You need to take the information I'm providing you and consult with an attorney to find out how it applies to your particular situation. And again, this is Ohio law. The law in divorce changes from state to state. So, you need a divorce. Now you want to know what to do. Let's talk. The first thing that I think you should do is to gather all of the information you have that might be pertinent. Let's face it, if you're getting a divorce, then it's likely that you really don't trust each other. So even though under Ohio law you're required to have full disclosure of all your assets, liability, and income information, chances are that there's some unsettlement or distrust between the two of you that you're not really sure that's going to happen. Now hopefully it does happen, it is the law, and it often happens, but every once in a while when you have people contesting divorces, this full disclosure issue seems to come up. So I recommend that you circumvent that whole process by getting full disclosure in advance. How do you do that? Gather all of the information that you can. And specifically, what do you need to gather? Bank statements, credit card statements, any kind of financial statement, investment statements, all of those kinds of items that show where your money is and show where your debt is. In addition, any documentation showing ownership of property, whether it's your ATV, your RV, your home, your car, or if you have a particular hobby or collection that is of some value, then you need to gather all the information that shows the ownership or the value of those items. So you need titles, deeds, mortgages to show the debt against the property, the promissory note if you have a promissory note. Also, along that lines, any financial statements would be helpful to retain. For example, if you've applied for a loan or if you've had a financial statement done in order to start a small business. If there is a business involved, any records you have pertaining to that business would be needed also. So you need to gather all of this information, everything you can think of, including the last 3 years of income tax returns, with the supporting documentation, because the court looks at those last 3 years when calculating support, although some items based on the underlying documentation can be excluded or added back into the income, but you need to have those records so that can be done. Once you've gathered all of this information, you need to figure out what to do with it. You should make copies and put the copies in a secure place. A secure place is not in that desk drawer in your kitchen. I once had a client who did that and he found them and all the information disappeared. So the secure location would be an off-site location such as your work or at a friend or family's. Now if there's a possibility of custody being in dispute, or even if you're not sure, then I would make sure that you also include any school records or medical records of your children. You also should include anything such as notes, pictures, or any other documentation that might be useful if you want to prove that you should be the custodial parent of the child. Finally, turning to income. Income is usually a very simple process. We look at each party's income and then we figure out what the support's going to be. However, sometimes you have issues of underemployment or voluntarily being unemployed. If that's the case and you have pay stubs from a job that is older than the present job but shows the earning abilities of the party, and this would be true whether you're underemployed or whether the other party is underemployed. So you need to be able to document that and also document the reason for the change. If you're defending on this issue, you need to document that you were not voluntarily underemployed, but maybe your employer changed the conditions of your employment which reduced your income. Now, there are other complex issues that can arise, such as separate property, which would include property you own prior to the marriage, including an inheritance or even an inheritance that was occurred after the marriage. These separate property issues have to be disclosed and they have to be proven or traced. So any documentation you have pertaining to that. I highly recommend that if you have a claim for separate property, you need to really consult with an attorney to be able to make sure that you can adequately trace that separate property claim when you're bringing a divorce action. Finally, once you've taken all of this information, you need to gather it together and put it in that secure location, and then when you consult with your attorney, make sure you disclose all of it to your attorney. Understand that we are required to disclose all the attorney to the opposing party. We're required to put everything on the table, and then the court will divide things equitably. One issue that comes into whether property can be divided equitably is whether money was pulled out or property was improperly disposed of or money was spent on a paramour, which would make any of those situations potentially financial misconduct. You'll have to evaluate with an attorney the value of that financial misconduct and whether it's worth pursuing, given the attorney's fees and time and effort that might be involved. Keep in mind that if you don't have perfect documentation, records can always be subpoenaed, but it's better to get it as much as possible up front, because some of these records may not be able to be subpoenaed, or they may be so old that they're no longer still available. So that's what I recommend. Gather, secure, and then go consult with your attorney. Thanks for listening.